So we'll see if we can find a little bit of information going elsewhere. Of course, like I said, I live out in a rural area, so it's a deal. Like I said, people don't realize how hard it is when you got to do some things, and it's a half a day there and a half a day back, half a day to get there and a half a day to get back, and it makes it a long day for you. And so
yeah,
but but no, I've got to. As I'm getting older here and realizing that I'm tossed back and forth. When I first came out, I started working on a book with Michael Brownlee, but then we kind of get into an area that made my wife and daughters uncomfortable at the time, and so we kind of stopped. And then he went to another deal, and that's fine. We had contact, and it's kind of slid. So, but maybe, of course, I was feeling, just like back then, I was a little invincible or whatever, more so than I should have been, and running around, but being the main source of entertainment, that some people maybe I approached too wrong. But like I said, that just didn't work out. But it slowly dawned on me now that I've got to do something, and to me that'll be just that'll be as good as I'm not leaving nothing, and you write a book, or nowadays you can put it on the DVD, you put it in a computer and YouTube, or you look at it, so you got podcasts, you got YouTube, so however that saves me the hassle of expensive publishing. No, I told him, he says he's not interested in really making any money. He's just like me. He's doing it because, do this thing's just the right thing to do. So, and I said, that's fine. He happened to run into me because of a young lady I happened to work with several years ago. I was working in a nursing home and knew about me, and then they were kind of going together, and then they unfortunately separated, but he found out about me, and that's what I'm working on for people.
Well, I think that'll be important, I think, for your own peace of mind to come up with something that tells your story.
Yeah, I mean, at least, have a half a chance to whatever. And, like I said, if I'd have grandchildren or great-grandchildren, and issue's not got any better resolution than it's got in the last 16, 18 years for me, then we'll keep on going down the road, but at least, they won't have to go into it blind. They can at least have somebody saying a little something to them about it now to try to look at it and deal with it.
Yeah. And how does it make you feel now that all this is kind of behind you, at least the operation and the retrieval of this implant is behind you? How does it make you feel knowing that you are really one of the pioneers in this whole area? As a matter of fact, I almost think of you sometimes as like one of the original Mercury 7 astronauts, and the whole idea of you being involved in probably almost dragging the American public and even the world into a bigger consciousness level by what you've done so far.
Well, thank you for the praise. Well, many years ago, some elderly women got me cornered. They wanted to talk about it, and we were talking over my experiences and stuff. And that was one of the things they said, well, don't get too excited, but you'll probably be you'll probably end up being a pioneer in the whole deal. And because I was thinking, maybe I'd get some resolution, but they said no, and then when you bring it up, and I remember sitting right there at the kitchen table with the three gals looking at me, and the one says, you'll probably end up being a pioneer in it. So that's that's the way it works,
Yeah,
I think, hell, there's a lot of kids born nowadays that weren't alive even when my operation, let alone anything else, so.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's working. And what's interesting there is I deal maybe next month that there was I haven't, like I said, now that I got something to say, not too many people asked me to say anything. Back shortly after my surgery, when I really didn't know anything, and of course I was just basically talking, trying to help Dr. Leer out, trying to get A&S going, trying to see if we could get some information on if the membrane will help for organ transplants, the basics. And I still go with that, but now that it's shifted a little more to me, then I've got to completely, I've got to tell more of the story,
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. When I was with Roger, I didn't, there was, back then, it was bad enough that people were getting abducted, period, and then getting implants put in them. That was another one, pretty hard road to chew. And then if I went full bore, then that's one thing that still even makes some of my family uncomfortable, and it's when I have to do that. And I'm understanding this a little better. That's how people think is an interesting deal when they basically get talking hypnosis, but not everybody thinks the same.
Yeah,
it's an interesting deal. But yeah, I'm slowly, it's dawning on me. Hey, I got a couple grandkids. Hey, that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. And it's kind of the way it's been for a long time. But it's like I said, I realize I'm trying to speak the truth, and it's an important deal. And I really don't. I was hoping for a little more resolution, and maybe in my lifetime. But if it doesn't come, try to improve things on down the road.
Yeah. Well, I can basically verify my feelings about your whole situation by saying that at the very least, I believe your efforts, part of Dr. Roger-Leer's whole experiment in this regard, will potentially lead to those organ transplant capabilities in the future, because of this whole idea of these materials that are covered with some kind of either metamaterial or covering that would not allow for any inflammatory response. That has got to be fascinating right now, and maybe you won't find the resolution that you're looking for during your lifetime. But I'll tell you what, I think you've been a stalwart person in getting us further on down the road in this whole idea of helping people with the whole idea that they need to in alien implant. In the actual organs that people are receiving, and trying to figure out how to keep them from rejecting from the body. That's, I think, one thing you have going for you right now.
Well, thank you. Well, you just keep trying. That's all you can do in this life, is try to do your best.
Yeah.
And you do it with what you get, and that's the way it is. Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love it to see. That'd be fantastic, to know that something happens along them lines with organ transplants. But, like I said, it's pushed pretty hard, but it just seems to not be going anywhere. But you never, like I say, you just don't give up either. But, yeah, there's lots of things. But that organ transplant, I really appreciate your comments on that. It would be nice.
Yeah, I think your name is to be. I think your name will definitely be in the medical books, in the future when students are studying this whole process. And of course, there will be history classes teaching, about how they all learned how to do these things successfully. And I would imagine you're going to be right up there at the top of with a lot of interesting cases.
Well, that's kind of the way it ends up working, I guess, and that's what you do. And yeah, next month or so, I'm been approached by a high school class. Of course, I've never talked. I did did a little talking shortly after my surgery, but and a couple TV programs. But for about the last 7, I did a William Shatner program. But The high schools don't seem to, some kids do and some don't. I've got little DVDs I made of all the programs that I was on with Dr. Leer that I usually have some around, so give somebody, just, I can tell you, but here's this information too, and that always helps. It really does make it a lot easier for me to delve into being abducted and stuff when you can give somebody some information. It's something that they can look at and try to understand. And tell them that, some of it's good information and some of it they kind of be hard on. But, take it for all it's worth because I'm giving it to you and I'm testifying that the correct things are correct here, and it's good.
Well, and now that you're talking to a younger audience, going to high school, maybe giving a little speech.
Well, I haven't got to yet, but I think I've been approached if I'd want to, and I told them I wasn't. So the one gal that's their adult supervisor for this group that wants me to talk to them, they'll be getting back hold of me. Yeah. And that'd be nice. I'd sure like to start that, talk to some kids. People think, well, no, I'm not going to. I'm talking about my life experiences on, on how it's the universe and it's more stranger than we imagine, and life's pretty good, and it ain't, there's a lot about that could be, but it ain't so much what extraterrestrials are or aren't. It's our acceptance of, that there is a non-human intelligence interacting with us of some sort or many sorts. We don't know. And, of course, there could be a non-intelligence of a greater kind interacting with, interacting with us, and however things are always working. Kind of.
Yes, exactly.
I kind of go to, I don't, but, I go to the old quantum physics, to Einstein's this strange part of the universe, and that's kind of where I've kind of got to wibble wobble with, and not that I know all the answers, but I can sniff at it a little. Like I said, I can ask the questions.
Yeah, well, you have a lot more. You have a lot more issues to ask questions about now with all of the things that you've gone through in your lifetime, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, someone who would be listening to our interview tonight and would like to find out some more information about your case, where would you suggest they take a look to find out more about you and or more about any of the other operations and implant removals that Dr. Leer has done in the past?
Just Google him up. He's on YouTube or get his book. Now, there's a couple of YouTube videos that they're so-so, but, there's a couple, three of them, and they put a history program video on me, and William Shatner's Weird or What, but I hear say or go to his book, Aliens and the Scalpel. I think you can probably find them on Amazon. That'd be pretty well cover most of it that I would know of. Yeah.
And then, obviously, you're thinking about doing an upcoming video production as well about your story, and I'm assuming that would be available either on DVD.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on YouTube.
There you go. Yeah.
It's going to be out there. I mean, hey, I don't need to, I ain't a rich man, but money-wise, but I'm my experiences in my life and whatever has happened to me, I mean, I'm in the Bill Gates category, and I don't worry about it. I mean, like I said, I've been paralyzed from I was paralyzed from the neck down, and I got to work construction for several years. Had a couple more daughters. Been there and done that.
Yeah. You've had a
do what I can do and whatever. I'm realizing that it's been a little bit out of the ordinary, and that and sometimes it and don't think it doesn't humble me a little bit. I mean, it does. I mean, the young man that approached me to come to this near-death experience group